How are you doing, Gillian?
I'm good, thanks. How you
Good. Well,
doing?
yeah, very well, thank you. I'm gonna begin. I mean, one of the things I love about The Crown, and one of the many things I love about it, is how it kind of chooses relatively small moments and builds kind of whole episodes on it. It's a kind of understated program, despite entering into such a kind of overstated world. I'm assuming you're a big fan of the series already, and how great is that to go into a project when the tone's established and you know it's good. So there's that kind of there's no element of kind of doubt in your mind that it's going to come across well. You kind of know it's a
Well,
special
yeah,
TV
I
show.
mean that's true. But as an individual, there's a little bit of a pressure, I guess, to come across as well as everybody else has come across, because that could certainly happen where it's the first time that there's been a bad performance. But anyway, very, very honored to be a part of it. I have been a fan for a long time, and it was really wonderful to work with everyone. But you're right, it is nice to know that there's an established tone and that there is success and that you're stepping into something that has a degree of safety in it, I guess.
And I mean, one of the things with Thatcher, which many people found hard to relate to with her, is that she seemed to almost lack empathy, at least on the surface, at least in what the public saw of her. And I guess for the regular person, it can be quite hard to connect to someone like that. But in this instance, it was your job to find that connection. I wondered if it was a challenge for you, and also if you look at her decisions and politics in a different way now you've embodied her and you've got into her head.
Mm. Well, I think one of the most important things that I find in playing a real life character is to kind of put aside my beliefs about them, or preconceptions or opinions about policies, etc. So it's really jumping in and learning who this person was, what the motivations were that led her to make the decisions that she made based on how she grew up and her relationship with her parents, and et cetera, et cetera. So I really focused on that. And the series, really focuses on her as a career woman, as a parent, and delves less into her politics, more into her relationship with the Queen. And certainly the show itself is all through the lens of the Crown. So this isn't a biopic about Thatcher and her politics. It's a series about the Crown and how the different prime ministers who come through have an impact on the Queen and their relationship with the Queen.
Was there anything you kind of really wanted to ask her during this process? Any kind of burning questions that you felt would have really helped you get into her head?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, there are many that I've been asked actually by journalists that I'd love to be able to actually, answer them truthfully based on being able to go, hey, what do you think about that? But I don't know, because all of the audiences, for instance, they're not recorded, they're not spoken about. It is, creative license, and so that there are certainly things that transpired between the Queen and Mrs. Thatcher, and also, different reactions that she had or didn't have through the decade that she was in power, that one might want to say, what was really behind that decision? Or did you have any idea of the impact that was going to have? And are you still okay with that impact? Yeah. So I guess, yes, I'd have a very long list of questions.
So I was realised the other day I was doing an impersonation of Michael Caine, and I realised I wasn't doing an impersonation of Michael Caine. I was doing an impersonation of Steve Coogan doing an impersonation of Michael Caine. But I realised that because when people portray people, they almost have to go slightly into the realm of caricature to emphasise their kind of sensibilities and their kind of foibles and stuff. And I was wondering, when playing Thatcher, did you draw on the likes of Meryl Streep's performance as well, or was it very much just on the woman herself, or did you use other kind of portrayals of Thatcher to help you craft your performance?
I've always been afraid of watching anybody else's stuff before I play somebody, because I'm afraid of, as you say, copying them or stealing elements of what they did with their voice or what they did with their mannerism. So it's been a long time since I've seen any other versions of Thatcher. And also, yes, as you say, it's easy to get into caricature and parody, and that was something that is one of the biggest challenges, I think, with somebody who's been parodied so much as Thatcher. You think of all the puppets and etc. And so I think the bigger challenge was to keep her, or to make her human, and not to mimic or or parody too much. And I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges.
Brilliant. Well, I think you do a fantastic job of it. So thanks for your time today. Much appreciated. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!